Welcome back, friends. As committed, we are back with the new topic for the day, and that is how petrol prices are computed and its impact. Before we jump onto the topic, let me help you to understand the concept of oil marketing companies. I'm sure you must have heard names like BPCL, HPCL, IOC as oil marketing companies. The major responsibilities of these companies is to buy crude oil from OPEC and get it transferred to Indian borders. Then convert this crude oil to final output in the form of petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. and distribute it to the retailers. While doing so, companies incur the cost and that finally have the impact on the prices of petrol and diesel. Now friends, to buy crude oil, companies need to shell out funds. That is called as a purchase price. To get that crude oil transferred to Indian borders, they need to arrange for freight. That is called as a freight cost. Now, while the voyage is on, companies need to incur costs like insurance charges, losses occur during the voyage, port transfer fees, etc. These all fees gets converted into import charges and added to the price of the crude oil. Once crude oil hits the Indian borders, Indian government applies custom duty onto the same. Now, this crude oil gets transferred to refineries in the form of input through which output is derived in the form of petrol, diesel, kerosene. This refinement process also incurs some costing, and this costing is known as refinery transfer prices. Now this final output needs to be pushed through distribution model, that is through dealers. From refinery to dealers, the transfer price is called as a inland freight. Oil marketing companies adds their administration and marketing expenses along with profitability margin to arrive at a final depot cost. This cost is nothing but the cost which is charged to dealers to get the petrol or diesel. Now we are jumping to the second leg of the costing, that is central government applies excise duty on the depot cost, state government applies VAT, and there is a dealer's commission which get added to the depot cost. Overall, these all cost put together gives you retail price of petrol or diesel. Earlier, petrol and diesel prices used to be regulated by Government of India, but since 2016 we have opted for dynamic daily price model. That means these prices got deregulated, and basis on the global crude oil price movement, every day in the morning 6 a.m. price of diesel and petrol gets computed. Now, since we have understood how the prices of petrol and diesel are computed, let me tell you what impact it has in our day-to-day life. Now, every one of us must be aware that in transportation of anything and everything, be it manufacturing industry, be it service industry, be it product distribution, the transportation price will go up due to increase in price of petrol and diesel. That will have the negative impact on inflation, which will set to rise. Now, there was a discussion going on since few days that government should intervene to curb out the increase of price of petrol and diesel. Friends, understand one thing. The excise duty which is charged by central government, VAT which is charged by state government, or for that matter custom duty, all these funds are finally utilized for infrastructure development. Since there are few many elections which are scheduled round the corner, like four states election as well as one central government's election, there could be possibility that government might take populist measure under political influence. However, it will generate a short-term gain over a long-term pain, and the reason why I am saying so, it is because of this. In the recent past, we have seen that petrol and diesel prices were slashed by 2.5 rupees, out of which 1.5 rupees was taken a hit by central government and 1 rupee hit was taken by oil marketing companies. Because of this 1.5 rupees hit which was borne by government, they incurred a loss of 21,000 crore rupees. And because of 1 rupee hit which was taken by oil marketing companies, they incurred a loss somewhere around 4,500 to 5,000 crores. Even their shares on the stock exchange were slashed by 20%. This was the overall impact. These funds which government has lost will finally impact on infrastructure development. I know, being a common man, we expect that price to remain in checks and controls. However, these costings, these prices are ultimately gonna benefit to us in some or the other form. I am not here suggesting that a particular government should come into the power so that the prices will be in a control. However, purely from the economic sense of this matter, the curbing out of price of petrol and diesel beyond a certain limit and bringing them back to a regulated manner from deregulated genre will impact government's earning negatively, which leads to have negative impact on our infrastructure development. So friends, I hope this video has given you some insight. Stay tuned for many more to come in. Thank you very much for your time.